I'm a walking, talking silhouette, the darkest rhymer since DMX dropped that album with blood all over his body.
I'm just gonna be honest. If Drake is your favorite rapper, you're probably a loser. Or at least like the most boring person that any of your friends know. And also possibly shitty and into underage girls and just like weirdo shit, just
Look, Big Cats, that is a great breakdown. I literally took 4 days because I'm a very stubborn person. I was like, I'm not finna watch that. I had my concerns about it, but I found myself last night starting it and finishing it this morning. All 4 hours of it. But I kind of want to focus on the Cold War between Lil Wayne and Drake, because why does it seemingly feel like with every Wayne feature, he's doing more or aligning himself more and more with the people who didn't like or fuck with Drake at all?
What about Drake? You like Drake?
No. My man.
I mean, the dude has songs with Kendrick Lamar and XXX Tentacion. We can call it coincidence. We can be Delulu. Fuck it. I embrace it. But in all reality, I mean, for that to be your man's, you sure do have a lot of songs aligning yourself with people that completely despised the dude. Let's just be honest, completely did not fuck with Drake. Sidebar, Don't Cry goes so stupid. Oh my God. And there's some subs in there for sure. Please go listen. Wayne went around performing this song damn near everywhere. So we can call it a coincidence, but I know coincidences don't exist. I also want to talk about the fact that Lil Wayne and Drake haven't done any collaborative projects in some years, like solidified collaborative projects. It's been a long while since the two of them have linked up on some genuine music connectivity bullshit.
Applaud that. Shout out Glow. Glow really the only person came up to me and really hollered at me. Like, you feel me? Shout out to Goat. Shout out to...
I do think it's notable at the Weirdo party. I'm pretty sure Wayne went out of his way to say like Drake kind of avoided Wayne at the party. He said Glorilla was the only one that came up and hollered at him and talked to him, and I really felt like Wayne had no business at that party anyway, but that's neither here or there. And I think it's also noteworthy that early on in Drake's career, Lil Wayne warned him, stay in his lane. Keep it Canadian. Keep it about women. Keep the gangster stuff out of it. Be a backpack rapper. That is your lane. That is who you are. Now, if you know the history about Drizzy, I'm not going to get into it on that breakdown video. That dude gets into it pretty good. You know Drizzy's always been kind of like the dweeb of hip-hop. He's always been kind of like the punching bag because of his duplicitous or split personality when it came to his more soft side, his more exposed side, compared to his gangster persona that he tried to sell to the masses. And the messed up thing is, Big Cats, if he would have embodied his dweebness like a Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, he's literally telling you he's a good kid. He was a nerd, cartoons and series. If he would have stayed with that persona who he actually is, people don't understand, dweebs get protected. I was the dweeb that protected the dweebs. If a dweeb is true to themselves, you have no reason to bully that person. Look at the support and protection Kendrick gets because he stayed in his lane. He didn't never try to be someone he was not. And thus you get protection by the gangsters or the hardened dweebs or the seasoned veterans who are actually war-ready warriors. Instead, I believe Drake took the route of, I'm tired of being bullied. My feelings can't take the verbal criticism. That's why when Kendrick came out with Control, he went, okay, please go watch that. But Drake took an alternative route because he was tired of the verbal criticisms instead of embracing his dweebiness and being protected by a Lil Wayne or people who are actually gangsters in the industry, which Lil Wayne is not. He's a fake gangster too. So Lil Wayne almost set Drake up for this loss. And it's so crazy. I need you guys to listen to Don't Cry, XXX and Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's literally telling Drake, stay in your own lane. Fame is not a given. Like, talent is God-given. Talent is God-given. Use your God-given talent. Stop trying to be something you're not. Instead, Drake picked up a fake persona, started paying people off, and didn't understand that your authenticity is what builds connections built off of respect. Your authenticity is what establishes connections built on longevity, respect, and love. Love is something that you cannot buy. You cannot pay people off with inauthenticity, with a fake persona. But at the end of the day, Wayne is literally a good kid, Mad City. He tells you in his music, he was a college student. But the difference between a Wayne and a Drake, Wayne grew up around hood culture. He grew up in the streets. You can be a dweeb and still be in the streets. I'm a dweeb that was in the streets. So I'm familiar with the aesthetic. I'm familiar with the lifestyle. I was actually born in America. I was actually born to street culture. My connection with street culture blended well with my acceptance of my dweebiness. When you accept that you're a dweeb, but you are of the culture, you're gonna get protected. You're gonna get that protection 10 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10. People don't want to. Any real street person will tell you, especially if they see potential in you, stay away from the streets. Stay away from that culture, that lifestyle. It's a toxic cycle. It is a unforgiven cycle. It is a cycle that no one should have to be subjected to. Go to school, stay smart, stay out of the streets, play video games, because you're only going to end up dead or in jail. Anybody who is actually of the streets, all my family, stay the fuck away from the streets. And it's messed up in Drake's case because when you fly too close to the sun, you're too hard-headed. It was in my case too. You're too hard-headed. You have to go see on your own. But in Drake's case, how could he see? He was born in freaking Canada. He was already a grown man by the time he wanted to jump off the porch. I jumped off the fucking porch at 15 years old, 16 years old. There's a big difference between actually having experience in it as a young child growing up, as opposed to, oh, I'm a grown man, but I have to keep up this aesthetic. I have to build up this reputation as someone who is gangster when I'm really not. Be yourself. I can't be something I'm not because it is ingrained within me. So it comes off as authentic. That's why a lot of people in the industry use Drake as a punching bag, because there was no authenticity surrounding his persona that he had orchestrated due to the fact that he was a punching bag dweeb. He would have got the protection had he had stayed in his lane, as Wayne and many others instructed him to do. This is just a side note. I want to end it on this. This is the Drake I like. This was my favorite adaptation of Drake because he had the perfect balance of super ridiculous corniness, dweebiness, but you could see that he was having fun with his acting of a rapper. He was having fun with it. It wasn't so dark and him being serious, and he created the best. This is the Drake that created the best music. You could tell he had the bravado. He was braggadocious. You know what I mean? He wanted people to take him seriously. When he came out with the dark sounding BS, and you could tell he really wanted to embody that gangster aura, that gangster essence, that's when it stopped being fun. This was the best adaptation of Drake. This is the Drake that probably would have got protected, but I guess being pissed on will turn you to a villain. Who knows?